Hi, it's Pixie again. I touched upon in a interesting phase between light and dark. So I must be in some sort of shadow dimensions or portals close to me. Especially phase into darkness, that's interesting. You can see it on the camera. It's pointing towards the light, so there's no reason why I should be reflecting off me rather than being absorbed into the woods. Yeah, I touched upon dimensions in a previous video, and I've been recently looking into what they are, what reality is. I mentioned about the wave and particle forms, and basically a particle, the shell is the boundary of the dimension, and then there's other dimensions within that, and the wave frequencies. I mentioned about multidimensional. If you think about the Ds, like something's first D, second D, and third D, and the densities, they are the parallels that are running alongside us. But within this dimension, all in one, you've got like light. It's only separated when it hits another dimension or physical form, and then it takes on that form. It feeds that energy. So there's different things as well. When we mentioned about the bubbles, is that if you blew a bubble, you'd see that it'd have like a multi-spectrum of light. It would hit it, and the prism would break it down. Then as it starts to deteriorate and the changes in the bubble, you'll notice that there'd be like dimensional sort of twirls in there. There'd be black dots. Eventually, the bubble turns to a point where it's actually like a silver black, and there's lots of white silvery dots, and then it will burst. So they're kind of the end points. It's like almost reflecting what space is. So it's an interesting, that demonstrates, there's always things that are just ignored around us. That demonstrates how dimensional work, and also a collapsing dimensional. So when it's healthy, you get a whole spectrum of different colours there, and it's organised, and it reflects certain light out and certain light enters. But when it's more fragmented, it gets to the point where it breaks down, or it enters this inner space type dimension. And each of them points of light in themselves are dimensions as well. So that's something important to be aware of. So that's the premise for dimensions, and that a particle, there's no difference between a particle and the Earth. The Earth in itself is just a giant particle. There's a certain amount of emptiness within inside it. That may vary depending on which density. So if you want to go into the flat Earth theory, in a wave form it's correct, but in its dimensional form it's incorrect, because it forms an actual outer shape, and the energy within it would support that shape and that form. So it's both a physical and something that's flat. In data form it is flat, but it's no point arguing about that. I mean, you can actually have both theories correct. You just need to figure out how. It's a bit like evolution. It happens in stages within all life, but it's not so dramatic as it's the whole process, as that it was a single cell trying to find a way to survive, and then it adapted and had to keep adapting to mutations, and they were all random, and it was all accident, and then when it found one that was correct, it kept to it. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever for a random universe. Because it's just impossible. It's just ridiculous. Especially biodiversity. Especially with biodiversity in this planet, the likelihood of all these accidents happening, and it's just crazy. I touched upon what would have happened in the past. Basically, this place is like Planet of the Apes, I believe. So so it's more likely that the mammals were probably the most advanced species on the planet, and they've already started out on this planet.